You're listening to Spiritual Growth Tools on the radio, helping you understand the blocks you have in your life to being happy, with a wide variety of guests to help you better understand the problems you're having in your own life. Whether you're depressed, poverty-stricken, suffering ill health, or confused about how to take the next step, discover products, services, and information that will enable you to grow with grace and address issues that are preventing you from happiness, health, or abundance. Go to spiritualgrowthtools.co.uk and find out what's holding you back.
Well, hello everybody and Happy New Year. This is the very first show of the year and I'm delighted to be here with you. You're listening to Spiritual Growth Tools on the radio, where we discuss spiritual growth, what that means, and how it can help you move forward through the blocks that you have to health and happiness. I'm your host, Caroline Nettle, and today's guest is Brigitte Parvin. Welcome, Bridget.
Thank you, Carolyn. It's a privilege and honor to be here today.
I am so excited to have you on. Thank you so much for coming on. So I met Bridget's husband in line when I was doing my Angel Therapy Practitioner's course with Doreen in Hawaii back in 2009, I think I'm right in saying. And we've become friends since on social media, so I'm a real strong advocate of social media because it introduces me to wonderful people like Bridget. She is a busy lady. She is an advanced angel therapy practitioner and a medium. She's also a past life regressionist, a hypnotherapist, a yoga Nidra instructor, an Ayurveda yoga person, and a recovery counselor. Angel Alchemist certification program, which I'd like to talk to you more about, hair design and business owner. Welcome to the show, Bridget.
Thank you, Caroline.
How on earth do you get time to fit everything into your life?
That's pretty funny. I pace myself, and at times that could be a constant struggle, and I just make sure that self-care is the number one thing and make sure I do have quiet time and work on getting balance in there, which is something that I constantly am striving for.
And that's such a good thing to mention just as we're going into this new year with all these enormous energies that are coming in. I'm so excited about what the year's going to bring for us. I'm hearing so many different astrologers saying it's going to be a really big shift this year. And so finding time for yourself and making sure that you're putting yourself first, because I always say if you haven't got it, you can't give it. So, you know, the old adage of, you know, make sure you look after yourself first so that you can look after everybody else. Wow. Well, I don't think I've ever read out quite such a long list, so I'm very, very impressed. So, Bridget, how did you step onto the yellow brick road, as it were, step onto the path of spiritual growth? Where did you come from and what obstacles have you had to face? What challenges have you had to face on your path here?
Wow, it's been an amazing journey. My spiritual path, of course, started when I was born. I believe we're all born with it, but I became so disconnected, and I had an upbringing that was pretty treacherous, and my family did the best they could do with the survival skills that they had, and I was introduced to, when I was 27, I was introduced to a 12-step program for my codependency, and I had a huge awakening from that, a huge spiritual awakening, and I felt so fortunate that my path had been led there, because I don't even know if I would be alive today. And then 2 years later after that, I got some more help for some domestic violence and of a relationship that I was in, and also learned how to face my own demons of alcoholism and drug addiction. And so I've been on this path now for 21 and a half years.
Yeah,
and
I saw that. That's a huge achievement. Well done to you.
Yeah. And then in 2006, I was diagnosed with late-stage melanoma cancer, where a day would have made a difference. And I have this mentor in my life who I absolutely love, and I met her down in Orange County, which is in Southern California, down in LA, and I did a self-analysis on myself with her, and then she suggested I get the book You Can Heal Your Life by Louise Hay. And so I did that and started working through that, and that's where the doors opened up with the angel work.
Oh, okay. I wondered how you get onto it. So did you start with Doreen, or did you find her later?
I found Doreen in the midst of that. I found her about a year before the book was introduced to me of You Can Heal Your Life by Louise Hay. I would go in the store and I'd see this book and I would grab one. It was Angels 101. Okay. And then I got the Lightworker's Way, and I finally started realizing, hey, maybe something bigger is going on here. There's a lot to life that I don't know about, and so that's when my quest became deeper and deeper.
Okay, and how do you find working with the angels?
Oh, I do it every day. I love it. It's so much. And one of the most important things for me to say is I don't worship angels. I do believe in God and of my own understanding, my higher power, and I give all glory to that. And then angels are the messengers that I use daily for different areas in my life. For if I get nervous, if I have a new job that's coming up, just surrounding my loved ones for safety and also for health issues, just for everything.
Yeah, and our paths are quite similar, and I waited till I was 40 because I'm stubborn, and I'll just tell this because it's quite funny. So I decided I needed to get well, and it cost a lot of money to do it in the UK, so I found this place in Kentucky, which was really cheap, and that's honestly the only reason I went. And I like to go overseas and, blah. Anyway, so I walk into this room. I didn't know why I was there. I literally booked it without knowing what I was doing, and they wrote the word codependency on the board, and I'm like, I'm in the wrong place. I'm not one of those. Having said that, I suffer, like most addicts, from chronic codependency, but it took that was the hardest one for me to admit to, because I was brought up, you don't admit that you have problems, you don't, everything, everybody's got to think you're perfect all the time, and so to say that I had, codependency was just too much for my ego at the time. I laugh at that now, but that was one of my biggest problems. I was an alcoholic, no problem. I had food, no problem, but I wasn't codependent. But oh yes, I am. But yeah, and when I found the angels, for me, it just was like coming home. I don't know if you can relate to that. I really just, wow, the unconditional love that I felt that I'd never experienced anywhere in my life, and I just able to pass that on to other people was just such a huge blessing. I love it, and it has really helped me. So what's your favorite thing about working with angels?
My favorite thing is the connection, and it gets me out of the way. I don't have to have all the answers, and so I'm tuning in and getting guidance and direction of loving messages, and I'm far from perfect. I believe as humans we all have room to grow, and so with working with the angels helped me quiet that voice of not to listen to the one that wants me to not succeed, the one that wants me to go eat ice cream, the one that thinks I'm not worthy. And so working with the angels helps bring the loving messages, and how can I be of service to another person with kindness and love, and even if they were possibly there was a misunderstanding, I even ask the angels, I send the angels there to intercede on behalf of situations and for them to take care of it, instead of me interfering in it and trying to make or mend a relationship happen.
That's it's really good to hear it said like that, because I do that, but I hadn't realized that that's how it's worked out in my life. because I used to be the person who knew everything, and you absolutely had to agree with everything I said, otherwise I didn't like you. I mean, I was really, probably not a nice person to be around, but now, you know, with this thing of pray for people when you're angry with them, and, you know, I literally give it to the angels. I bring them into my body talk work, and it's just made it so much more powerful, and I just say, use me as a, you know, an instrument for your healing work. That's what I do. So, yeah, and what I love so much about the angels is helping people, especially when, you know, we're talking about a death in the family or someone's lost a loved one. So talk to me about the work that you do as a medium.
Oh, my goodness. I love mediumship so much. It's my passion. When I talked earlier about my childhood, and when I was 2 years old, my father was only 20. And he committed suicide.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
And I was devastated, and I obviously couldn't put words onto it. And, you know, I have this beautiful mom, and she does the best that she could do with the survival skills that she has. And now looking back, I see that she was in deep grief, and
sure.
her heart was closed off. Of course, it would be devastating to any individual. So when I went to the Angel Therapy Practitioner certification course, I knew that this was for me, and I wanted to help other people and start introducing this into my work, being a hairdresser. And when I was at Angel Camp, they call it,
yep.
And I was there, and my dad kept on showing up, and it was literally impossible for these people to know the information that they knew. And he showed up full force, and I had this biggest healing happen. And I left there, and I was literally floating, no pun intended. and I just said, I want to help every single person that will come to me that is willing to face this deep grief and heal with it. And it's my passion.
Wow.
I love it so much, and the people absolutely trust me with it. They open up. They walk out of session. I physically see their shoulders pulled back, the weight lifted off their back, and the twinkle come back in their eyes. And they literally come back to life. There's so much more through the veil that we're able to connect with. And it's just trusting and believing. And I absolutely love it.
What a gift you have. That's incredible. My heart is wide open now as I'm listening to that. Because, you know, for me, well, my story, I don't know if you know it, but when I was 4 years old, I was in church behind this woman. And I said to her, your husband's going to die. And, of course, my mum went crazy. You don't say that sort of thing in church. Anyway, he died. And I learned very young that you don't say that sort of thing. Because, of course, I didn't know at 4 what I was doing. But anyway, yeah. And I actually, it's the work that I love the most. When Spirit comes through and they, you know, just come through and they want to say sorry, that can be really healing. When they want to say, listen, I'm fine, don't worry about me, I'm out of pain, or I'm sorry that I let you down. It's always a really loving message, and it's always about helping humans. I find the messages to me seem to come through to say, listen, get on with your life, I'm okay. And what you're right, watching these people, it's such a blessing to do that work. So, with all the yoga and the recovery counseling and everything that you do you kind of mix all your talents together, or do you keep them separate?
I do both. It's kind of like a tool bag, and whichever one's needed at the time, I use it in sessions. Ayurveda, yoga of recovery, Ayurveda is a 5,000-year-old medicine based out of India, and it's also one of the things that helped me in my path, and also with my husband Doug. He's in remission with Lyme disease, So he's doing well, but Ayurveda has helped us so much, and it's finding out what body types we have, what foods are important for us to eat, which ones aggravate us, and which ones bring healing. And it's a eating with seasonal times of the year. So there's certain things where there's cutoff times with iced drinks and digestion where you want to make sure then in the winters you don't eat those things. So when I'm doing angel readings, Reiki, or anything like that, I just tune in, and the angels use that too, and kind of throw it in with consultation with health issues. Archangel Raphael absolutely loves Ayurveda, and so guides people in that direction a lot. It's also with personalities. It's a Pitta, they call it. That's a real fiery personality. A Kapha is someone who is very loving and very devotional, yet they're not real goal-oriented. They'd rather hug you and not go do anything else. And then a Vata is kind of the personality where you can't pin them down, and they're very forgetful. So whenever these things are off balance is when I work with them, offering suggestions and guidance for foods, herbs, and different lifestyle changes with color therapy and oil and massage and different things that would very, very much help not keep these things aggravated and keep them off balance.
Wow. And do you just see people face-to-face, or do you work internationally as well?
On that one, normally, well, it would be, I've done it in the United States and also over the phone, on Skype, and also at the workshops that I do, and one-on-one consultations. But internationally, I'm always ready to get out of my comfort zone. So yes, the answer will be yes.
I'm only saying that because a lot of my listeners aren't necessarily in the States. A large percentage are, but there's other people as well. And I'm just wondering if if they like the sound of what you do, perhaps you could offer Skype. But we'll give your website out and everything where they can get into contact with you at the end of the show. Okay, one thing I haven't done, which is not very clever of me, is to say to people we will be taking calls in the second half of the show. So Bridget and I will be asking the angels for some answers for your questions, whatever they may be. If you want to call in, the number is a US number. So from Europe, it's 001. And then 347-327-9223. And you can also, there's a Skype button if you're watching on the website. There's a Skype button you can call in for free on Skype. So we'll probably be taking calls in around about 10 minutes. So if you have any questions, do call in and we'll be happy to answer them. Okay, so going into the new year, Bridget, how do you see, I don't know how I'm going to ask this, but what I'm looking at, 2013 for me was just annus horribilis, but I'm really proud that I got through it and I did what I needed to do, and I'm just looking forward. And I just wondered, are you seeing that with a lot of your clients? What about yourself? How are you looking at 2014?
Oh, I'm seeing it as something just beautiful. It's a time for elimination of what no longer serves us. It's a nice, fresh start. We've had so much karmically in 2013 that just needed to be shaken off, and it was pretty painful. There was a lot of pieces of truth that needed to be digested, and people that there may have been some close relationships that they shifted, and it was painful, but that was okay.
And I think, that's, again, one of the things that the angel work has helped me to see. Whereas before I needed a lot of people, well, everybody, to approve of me and to like me, and I didn't have a real me, so I would be bending me to what everybody else thought I should be. With the angels, I'm really helping other people to see that, it's okay to be who you are and not impress everybody and not need approval from everybody, and just be so in tune with your own message and your own knowing, and go forward on that. And I just find that such a blessing for me, because it's such a relief. My God, it was so difficult to please the world and his dog.
Yes. I agree. That approval seeking and all of that no longer works for me. It's so old energy, and that's just what needed to really be eliminated. It's still there, but yet it's time to walk away from it.
Yeah. And for me, that's what this year is all about. And I mean, of course, I'm looking at the BBC, and I'm looking at the horrific, well, I say horrific, the beautiful but very, very cold weather you guys are having. And we're having floods and horrendous wind. And I just think Mother Nature is having a good old clear out herself. And I think those of us that stand up and say, do you know what, I'm going to work on this, and I'm really going to, transcend my old self and become who I was supposed to be and who I agreed to be. I think now is the time. I think I've been saying that for about a year and a half, but it really feels like now is the time.
Yes, it is. Definitely.
So, good luck to everybody with that.
There's just so many more awakened people now. This is a huge shift, and we're blessed to be here in this moment of time in history. We signed up for this, even though we may not think so.
I must have been drunk when I signed up for this lifetime. But anyway, no, it's been a real blessing as well. It's really challenging. But I think, to be honest, they gave me this personality so that I could face what they'd given me. You know what I mean? I'm really aware that I'm at the right place in the right time, and I'm just really grateful every day that I'm alive. So what I think I'm going to do is say I have a group on Facebook called Spiritual Growth Tools. I'd love it if everybody goes over there, likes the page, and gets involved. I've also got a page called Your Angel Readings, which is feeling a little bit unloved, so I'd love some love on that page. And once again, the number to call is 347-327-9223, or you can call in via the Skype button. Is it okay, Bridget, if we go to the lines now and see what questions people have got?
Absolutely.
All right, now I'm going to do my best with this one. Michael, if you'd help me, that would be great. So the first one is area code 530, and the number is 5700. Hello?
Hello?
Hi, welcome to Spiritual Growth on the table? No, on the radio. Who am I talking to?
It's Martha. How are you? Hi, Bridget.
Hi. Thank you.
Hi, Martha.
How can we help you?
So, I also had a really interesting 2013, and I'm dealing with the new energy that I'm sitting in, and my guides keep telling me I'm ready, and I'm like, what am I ready for? So I kind of need some help, some guidance about what, this year I need to be doing.
Okay, Bridget, do you want to go first?
Sure, that would be great. Oh, it is just one of the things that is coming up is you get to carve out exactly what you want to do now. So the constraints and everything aren't even there anymore. That's what 2013 was about for you. And your life purpose will be bringing justice to many people. I'm kind of feeling and picking up on some indigo energy. And so it's going to be kind of like an advocate for something. And just know that you're guided every step of the way with this. And you're not doing it alone. And this is now a time to just hone in with your intuitive abilities and get guidance step by step, day by day, as never before. And the doors are going to just blast open. And so everything that you've experienced has brought you up to this point. So no regrets about the past because you're not there anymore. So 2013 was about letting it go and move forward from here and start tooting your horn.
Yeah, and it's really interesting what I'm getting, and I just love this, and I hope I describe it right. You know those slides that have got water in them, and they go curling around, and they go on for ages, and you just scream all the way down because it's so much fun?
Yeah.
That's showing me for you. So it's about It's about letting go and not having any control, but making sure that you're in the fun mode whilst you do it, because this is going to be, I don't know if you like water, that to me sounds like absolute fun. So it's about, letting go and letting the path take you where it goes, knowing that you're completely safe. And I pulled a couple of cards for you, and I got Archangel Uriel and Archangel Raphael. Now, to get to archangels is a really good thing. It just means the big guns are with you, so you really are at the right place at the right time. But both of them are talking about healing some emotions with you still. So for me, water is all about emotions. So I think you're going to be traveling through the emotions as you go. It's not like we're going to take all your anger and put it in a box and put it to one side. But what I do think is it's going to lessen off a great, great deal. If you can allow the fun to come in and literally hold your hands up and scream all the way down, then I really got what Bridget was saying, and I really think that there's something coming that's very, for you, a really important life calling. I think it's a very, you're just going to be so made up that you're doing it, and, it's going to really help the planet. I'm getting the planet for me. So, yeah, there is some emotional healing to do, but it's kind of like you can let the brakes off and just allow it to happen in its own time, knowing that you're really looked after by Uriel and Raphael. And if you have any questions, just talk to them when you go to bed. That's what I would advise.
There's a lot of people. There's a lot of them that come around, and I'm usually please pick a number.
Okay, does that make sense to you?
Yes, it does. Definitely.
Okay, well,
thank you guys so much.
You're so welcome. Let us know how you get on. All right. Well,
thank you.
Happy New Year, and thanks for calling in.
Happy New Year. Bye. Bye.
Make it a good one. Bye now. Yay, I got the call thing right. Okay, so the next person to call in was number 580. Of course, that could be anywhere to me. I have no idea. 9180. 9180.
Well, that happens to be me. Hello.
Well, hello, Suzette. Who am I talking to?
This is Suzette. I am in Oklahoma now.
Hello, Suzette in Oklahoma. Is it cold with you?
No.
Oh, glad to hear it. Okay, welcome to Spiritual Growth Tools on the Table. I like that much better. How can we help you?
Well, it's just so wonderful to be able to receive a message from friends who tune in as well, instead of always just, while we listen to our inner voice and we go with that guidance, sometimes it's just so nice to have, somebody else bring something up. And so I just wanted to reach out and see anything that you guys pick up on. I stepped back from the healing work in the essence of doing readings for a while. I've been one little saying I had was this little light of mine is not so little after all, but I've been quietly shining and working behind the scenes, and presently I'm caring for a very ill family member and doing a lot of healing work in that angle, and more recently I've been working with children's shelters and troubled kids and stuff like that. But anyway, right now I'm not working. I'm full-time caregiver for my sister-in-law, and she's probably going to pass away here in a few months. She's been battling cancer for about 3 years, and it doesn't look so good. But we're still happy, and I'm happy where I am, and I'm at peace, even though I'm dealing with all this. But I just wanted to see what you guys had to say.
Okay. Well, I immediately saw a massive angel just with its wings outstretched over you whilst you're doing this work, especially around the children. And was she your sister-in-law? I'm sorry? Yeah.
Yes.
And it was just a huge angel. And so that suggests to me that you are really well connected, and the angels are just saying well done for, because it would be really easy for us humans to go for fame and glory and big houses, but no, you've chosen to be where you know you need to be. And I feel with you a real sense of a very old soul and someone who just is a wise one, what I would call a wise one. So you just know, you just have a sense of knowing. And I just want to say Do you take enough time to really make sure that your battery is 100% full? Are you running a little bit?
Not.
Okay, yeah. Because we're having a little bit of a, you need to take more time, but it's time that you need to take rather than, I'm not going to say to you, feed yourself full of greens or anything. I just feel like you're not having enough time to regenerate your essence. So that's the message I'm getting from Raphael, but this wonderful angel, I don't know who it is, he's massive, and it just looks like you're really protected. Bridget, have you got anything?
I do, thank you. I'm picking up that you have such a big heart, and it's a beautiful, beautiful one. I'm tuning in, and if only there were more people like you, and had that beautiful heart and willing to be of service with helping loved ones. I'm getting, also I picked up on the part with the low batteries. Just take some time for yourself with some self-care. One of the things was that showed up first was sea salt bath, and to cleanse off that and get your aura just refreshened with it and keep that shining bright like it is, and also with knowing that this is the season of your life, that this is the choices that you're making, and they're very valuable ones, and they're filled with divine love, and you're protected every step of the way by the angels. Mm-hmm. Archangel Sandalphon's coming in and even wanting to say to make sure to keep your balance for yourself and your well-being. And I'm also picking up that yoga or some stretches and opening up those chakras and not holding this stuff in. And getting out in some fresh air. You have a lot of wisdom in you, and that's very ancient wisdom. And Archangel Metatron is showing up with that. And so in this season, when you're being the caregiver, and when it's time to shift over, you will be working back again, even in more force with the children and with Archangel Metatron.
Bridget, can I just interrupt? I think we lost the call, and I don't have a brain. Was it 9180? I'm going to take a gamble because I think it was 9180. Hello?
Hello there. Yes, I did lose you, but I'm back.
I'm going to pick the right. Did you hear what Bridget was saying?
I heard what she said at the end about Metatron.
Okay, so then I'll rewind a little bit to the with Archangel Sandalphon about some saltwater baths and lining up in the season that you're in right now. It's very important to keep your chakras aligned and just to keep those operating at full capacity, just so that you don't feel closed off with so much giving that you're filled up also. So take some time to get out in fresh air and all of that too.
Oh, that's really interesting, because I was just about to say, I'm seeing trees with you like old pine forests. And what you were saying about...
I'm sorry.
That's
one good thing about having a dog is they force you to get outside and walk.
They do.
But I definitely, I have been getting that message, and I know from the way that I feel too is that I've got to do more self-care. I mean, that's one of those things.
Especially, they're telling me, when you're looking after children, because children will look up to you and think, they don't do this consciously, but they'll be like, well, she's not looking after herself. It's a message that we give when we're whole and healthy. We're much better role models for our children. So that's just something that's reinforcing what Bridget was saying. Thank you so much for calling. I really appreciate that.
Yeah. Thank you so much. I love you guys.
Oh, I love you too, and Happy New Year.
Blessings to you.
Okay, right. See you later.
Bye.
Bye.
Okay, so the next caller is area code 612, and the number's 0769. Hello?
Hi.
Hi.
This is Sean Atkins.
Hi, Sean.
Hi, Sean.
How are you?
I just wanted to say hi to both of you.
I haven't talked to Bridget in a long time.
Much love.
Much love to you. Do you have any
Happy
questions
New Year.
for the angels?
I'm sorry.
Did you have any questions you wanted to ask the angels whilst you're here?
I just wanted to say hi. I can't think of any questions I wanted to ask. If there's something they want to tell me, that's fine.
Let me just see. Okay, I'm seeing a little acorn for you. And I'm seeing it as a squirrel would be, burrowing it away. So it's something that it may be time to, I don't know, make some savings for a rainy day, or think about, so it's about planting it so that we get a big tree. So I feel like this is the beginning for you of maybe a new project coming in, or it feels like a game. I'm sorry to say that, it doesn't make any sense, but it feels like a game that you're going to just plant it and think, oh, nothing of it, and then, 20 years' time, you'll look back and go, oh my God, I planted that tree. So I think it's something to do with the actions you take now will have consequences in the future. So that puts no pressure on you whatsoever.
Oh, yes, that's a good way to do it. I won't get scared and run that way.
No, but it feels like fun. It does feel like something that you're like, oh, that might work. That kind of energy around it. Bridget, over to you.
Yes. Hi, angel sister.
Hi.
Hi. I'm getting just that now is your time to just love yourself with that and get yourself some roses and stick them around you, and there's this gentle, loving spirit about you, and so they even want it even more around your environment, and so it just kind of ripples out and even touches more people. And it's just kind of a lot of new beginnings for you. You really let a lot of the old stuff wash away. And so now it's just time to shine.
Thank you.
That's not too shabby, is it?
No. Thank you, angel ladies.
And I'm getting vanilla. I'm getting the scent of vanilla for you.
Ooh.
I'm thinking with an open window. I don't know if it's winter with you, but anyway, open window and vanilla candle or something. Might even be bringing in an old relative or something, but definitely vanilla.
Thank you very much.
It's so great that you called in. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Bye-bye now.
All right. Lots of love and Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. Love you.
Love you too. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Oh, that's so nice to speak to angel sisters. Okay, so we have one more. This is 812, and it's 7092. This is fun. I'm liking this.
It's fun.
Hello?
Hello.
Who's this?
This is Bev.
Hello,
I'm calling
Bev.
from Atlanta, Georgia, to talk to you, Bridget. Hi, Bridget.
Hi.
I had such an awful time connecting to you guys, and I'm so excited that I finally got through. So I didn't miss a thing. So I started early. Bridget, when you were talking about connecting with your dad when you were at Angel Camp,
Yes.
I had stretched out on the sofa, and tears just started rolling down my face. And I guess I've carried a lot of grief the last 10 or 11 years. I lost two of my lifelong friends within a year and a half, one from suicide and one from disease. And I wasn't able to say goodbye to either one of them. And I have often thought about talking to a medium about this because I don't dream about either one of them. And I just find it rather odd. Do you have any insight on that?
I do. You could actually, when it was used as a part where it was said, I don't dream of them, often our deceased loved ones do come to us in dream time to help heal anything that may have happened, or they want us to know that they're okay. A lot of times, even if you hear a song or even think of them or something like that, like one of them, even when you have the tears stream down your face, it's like that's the way of showing that this is a time for healing with this, and you're safe to walk through it. My mentor who led me down this path, who I adore with all my life, Polly, she's the one who even helped me know that it was safe and led me in this direction. And so what I would suggest, just in quiet time, that if you could take a journal and call upon your Creator, and first and foremost, to the God of your own understanding, and then call upon Archangel Michael, and write a question in the journal. This is called automatic writing, and you're very safely protected, just to let you know how safely protected you are. This channeled writing is how the book A Course of Miracles was written, Conversations with God, and then there's a 12-step movement where the big book of Alcoholics Anonymous was written from channeled writing also. And so in this, your journal, you put the person's name down and ask that person a question. And do not filter it. The ego will say, oh, you're making this up, or, oh, you don't know this. Just ask the question and let it flow. Let it roll, and it will. Do not put any filter on it. And this is, I have all of my people, my clients, face-to-face or from distance, do this, and there's such healing that comes from it.
Okay. That sounds great.
Yes, Caroline, do you have any guidance?
Well, just I immediately got Archangel Raphael for you, and I think, your grief is being held in your heart, and in body talk we say grief should be in the lungs, because that's where it should be in Chinese medicine. So you're holding your grief in your heart. But one of the things I learned in the treatment center that I later went back and worked in is one way to allow grief to come for those that aren't able to access it. And I must say, this is something, I think I've been carrying my mother's grief all my life. So when I learned this kind of, exercise, it just released floods and floods of tears. And then I felt like I'd, lost the grief that I've been carrying. So you just, again, in a journal, you write down, Dear John, whatever the person's name is, in losing you, I lost this. You meant to me this, and just write to them about what they meant to you, how hard it has been without them, what you miss about them most. And it just seems to be one of those exercises that somewhere along the way, and you can make the questions up yourself, but the biggest one for me was, in losing you, I lost, of my dad, But somewhere along the way, you get in touch with your grief, and I think one of the things that we humans do the worst is give ourselves permission to grieve, to be angry, to be sad. So just really giving yourself permission to go to that grief and stay in it, because eventually, when you stay in it long enough, it goes away. And sometimes that can be half an hour, and other times it can be a month. It just depends on why you're not.
What you need at that moment, I guess.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But I'm just hearing Archangel Raphael say, one of the things I do before I go to bed every night is I work really strongly with Raphael because I'm a healer, and I just ask him to take me to a place of clarity, because for me, I always have 100 questions. I have that kind of a mind, and I'm just wondering if you can't just ask him to take you to a place where you can really, grieve or learn about why you're not grieving, or whatever it is you need, whatever are your words.
Okay, great.
Does that make sense?
Absolutely.
And I just feel for you, if you can just turn on the tap a little bit, and then a little bit more, and then a little bit more, eventually the bucket or whatever it will be, will be empty, and you'll be years lighter, and I think it is possibly the reason you rang today is because it is really time to look at this now, because I think it's holding you back a little bit, so.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you so much, both of you.
Thank you. Yes, and what I came
Much
up
love
with
for
also,
you.
Oh, Bev, I had one thing too. As the tears do come from the grief, because grief with tears is very healing. It's the stuff that we've been holding in. Tap your chest also as the tears flow, and it helps with releasement of any built-up grief in there. So just take your fingers and just kind of move them back and
tapping
forth.
on my chest?
Yes.
I'm familiar with tapping.
Good.
So
So
tap
do
the
that
chest?
while you're... Perfect, yes.
Okay.
Okay.
Excellent. I sure will.
Because I saw it in your heart, might be an idea to tap on your heart at the same time, just in case that's where it's stuck.
Okay.
Bless
Thank
you, though.
you so much.
It takes a lot of courage to look at grief, so, know that you'll be protected all the way through it, but I think giving yourself permission is one of the best things that you can do.
Okay.
And if it's too much and you can't do it on your own, find a grief counselor or find someone to do the work with.
Okay. I will do that.
All right, sweetie. Well, listen, 2014,
Thank you so much.
I hope it's fantastic for you.
Much love.
You're very welcome.
Okay. Love to both of you.
Much love to you.
Bye.
Okay, sweetheart. Bye-bye.
Bye. Wow, yeah, grief is such a big subject. And I got asked if I would be part of an ebook today, and I thought, no, you know what, I don't think I really want to talk about my grief in something that's going to be published, because it's so personal between different people. But is the advice that you just gave to Bev, is that what you talk to most people, or is there anything else to do with grief that you can, tell the listeners?
I basically... One of the most important things is that my clients always want to know if their loved ones are okay.
Yeah.
And if they're safe. There's always the answers of the unknown, and so it's just really important to know that all of these feelings are normal. Yet if we block ourselves off to love and build walls around our hearts, then that's not the way that our deceased loved ones would want us to continue living. So they want us to move on and be free. They're completely happy.
Yeah, and free from pain. And, so often you see a lady who lost her husband 30 years ago and she's still grieving, and it makes me so sad, because, the husband wouldn't want that at all. So I think working on grief is such a big, important step that we've got to take.
Yes.
Okay, and what is the one question that most people want to know from you then when they're talking to Spirit?
One of them is life purpose. A lot of people want to know about their life purpose, their mission in life. Sometimes they feel like they're at crossroads where they don't know what steps to take next. And whenever people have blocks like that, it's really important for them to get in touch with their creative side, just because that's where answers will come. And it's not necessarily that they're going to go and sell the things. It's just that kind of opens up the gate to where it can be channeled in with direction for them to go. So that's a big one. Life purpose is huge.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and it's so funny. The reason I wrote my book, Where's My Man? What's My Life Purpose? And other questions that Angel can help you with this, because for me, everybody asks, where's my man? And I had a large clientele that was gay for quite a while, and where's my man? Where's my man? So I thought that would be the good name of the book. So if anybody wants to read that book, you can go to yourangelreadings.com. If you sign up for the newsletter, then that is where you'll be able to download that book, and it basically is about learning to love yourself. So I think it's quite useful. It takes not very long to read. Bridget, how can people get in touch with you if they want to work with you?
On my website, it's Bridget at www.angelalchemist.com.
Okay.
And so that's one of the ways. Also on Facebook, I've got a Bridget Angel Therapist Practitioner. You could contact me that way. And email is echoingangels@hotmail.com.
I have a feeling that you might get a few international clients after this call.
Lovely, lovely.
But listen, I think you've got such a gift, and I'm so happy that excuse me, that you're learning to share it, and that you get such joy from the work that you do, because it's just, honestly, you're such a pleasure to know, and I'm so thrilled to have had you on tonight. So I'm going to say thank you so much for coming on, Bridget, and very much love to you and your dear husband. And
thank you.
yeah, no, it's just been such a joy.
It has, and thank you for the work that you do, Caroline. You're one of the ones that I have always been drawn to, and I just love how you're helping change the world.
Oh, bless you. That's so kind. Be careful, because I'll have you back on the show.
What an honor.
Okay, so Bridget, if you wanted to say goodbye to the listeners.
Thank you for spending this time with Caroline and I. It was a pleasure.
All right, and I really highly recommend that you get in touch with Bridget and her work, because she's just a really fantastic therapist, angel therapist, yoga Nidra person. I mean, just honestly, just get in touch with her. She's fantastic. Okay, the next show is on January the 14th at 7 p.m. and my guest is Ian Patrick, who set up the charity in the UK called the Miracle Network, which is for assistance for those studying a course in miracles. He's just published a new book, and I'm sure that we'll be talking about that at great length, and I'm looking forward to having him on the show. Excuse me, I seem to have a frog in my throat. Thank you for listening to us on Spiritual Growth Tools on the radio, and if you'd like to find out about body talk or angel readings or any of the products and services that I work with, then please do go visit the website. And if you want to listen to the replay, it'll be available in a couple of hours just on the same link as the one that you're listening to the show on now. If you subscribe to the channel, you'll be kept informed about the upcoming show, so that would be good. And yeah, I think I'm just going to leave it there by saying thank you again to all the angels who've helped us this evening. Thank you so much to the people that called in, because without you, it probably wouldn't have been quite such a fun show. Thank you to the listeners. Really appreciate it, and I'm so loving doing this radio show. So thank you, everybody who's allowed me to do this, and I will speak to you next week.
Thank you for listening to Spiritual Growth Tools live on the radio. For more information, go to spiritualgrowthtools.co.uk.